Hey guys, how are you? Happy Tuesday. Tuesday? Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those holiday weeks that I can never remember what day it actually is. Hello. I think my friend Penny was here earlier saying hello. I think I confused people too because most of the Crafty Stamp Co. stuff is East Coast, and I just did my uh, usual timing. But YouTube will always tell you what time it actually is. Hello, Penny. Good to see you. Who have I missed? Oh, and we had a faux love from Lizzie. I was gonna be like really surprised she and be like, wow, like I don't think I've ever talked to her before. But anyway, and Flora's here. Hello, everybody is here. I'm surprised that there are people around. But it is just because it's sort of a weird time of the day. But anyway, thanks for dropping by. I got my sort of my preview of the Crafty Stamp Co.'s March kit. And I didn't mention this before. These come in a box, which I uh, didn't have on my desk at the moment. I think I showed you last unboxing, but all of the stickers are actually personalized with your name, which is really cool. It's kind of one of those it's nice to work with a small business because you always get cool stuff. And much like the January kit that we talked about, the naming of the kit gets a little bit weird in the sense that the kit is mailed out on the 1st of March. So like the March kit is actually in pre-order from January 15th to February 15th. So just FYI, I was initially confused by this too, but this is our fun March kit. Hey Linda, how are you? Good to see you. I saw my friend Elizabeth also had a video up unboxing this, so feel free to pop over to her channel to get her thoughts as well. Similar to last time. Oh, I think we have a slightly different bag. No, there's like a tag here, so you could actually like label this, which I didn't notice last time. But it's a really nice mesh bag. I love these because you can keep all your stuff in one place. Because I am good at losing pieces of things I'm trying to organize. Because I'm not very organized. But let's see if we can get everything out all together. If not, there we go. And I am immediately really excited about the enamel dots. Oh, I hope you get it. It was weird. This is sort of a side tangent, but like normally I get my mail at noon, basically, like every day. And for some reason, this came like literally like 20 minutes ago. So I was like, geez, I hope I don't have to reschedule. But there are some fantastic enamel dots. They remind me a lot of, I don't know if I have any on hand, but nope, I don't. Anyway, they remind me a lot of the Not Too Shabby ones in terms of they're an enamel dot, but they have sparkly glitter bits in them. And for Pam's benefit, the glitter is totally sealed in resin, so it can't possibly ever come out. We have sort of and when I saw this on Elizabeth's live or video, I was really excited about this particular colorway because it's almost like this, where it's like it's a very slaty blue. And then we have some pretty, very springy colors for the rest of it. But I was really excited about the slaty blue. And if they're making enamel dots, that makes me happy because, if this is going to become a recurring product, it will make me happy because I love enamel dots. I have this whole box right here, mostly of enamel dots. You'd think I would use them up given how much I like them, but I have quite a collection. But I guess for the benefits of people who are new to this kit, the kit always comes with 2 stamp sets, 1 paper pad, a stencil, and a bonus item. So this is the bonus item this month. And these are called Crafty Dots. The stamp sets are also exclusive for 6 months to the kit. Ooh, and we get another paper sleeve, which we will talk about the stamps, but then I'll gush about how great paper sleeves are. Anyway, so this is the Crafty mice, as you might guess from the mice. I am really excited about the mouse on the Cricut. I think that's really cute. Although I like the mouse too in front of the like brush holder, because there's like some Copics and some brushes and some colored pencils in here. I think that this one would be really cool. Like, even if you're not doing something for like a crafty friend, I think it would be pretty awesome. Yeah. That's too bad. That's right, because you're one of those folks who are really into planners. If you ever catch Mommy Guide Inc. on my channel, I don't think she is linked in this video, but she's been a guest on a couple occasions, but she knows a lot about planner stuff too. But yes, I would agree. They would be very thick if you wanted to put them into any kind of. They'd probably work okay in like an art journal. The other thing you can do, I'll just grab this. Because we're already tangenting all over the place, is this kind of a binding will work really well. So this is just a little notebook I made for one of the KCC sketches. But because there's a 1/4 inch between each of the pages, this will always lay flat, and you can use dimensional stuff. So if you ever decide to go like really free range and like make mini albums, that one's pretty fun. That's actually a really easy mini album as well. But anyway, let me see. What am I missing? Probably lots of things. You got a bunch of sequins. Oh, I like sequins. I'm lazy and like the self-adhesive stuff too. And then we have a mouse in front of what looks to be a pair of scissors. And there are a couple sentiments in here as well. Crafting is my love language. Talk crafty to me. That one's cute. Cute. And the thing that I thought was really cool is there's a handmade by you. So you can stamp this and then you could actually put your name in it. So I think there's a lot of stuff here that would be good, not just for crafty people. Although we're all pretty crafty people, but sorry about the glare. It's that time of year when the sun doesn't want to hang out. But I'll say my favorite stamp set in the kit is the one that has me in it. But this is Crafty Friends. So this is Crafty Me, and this is Crafty Meadow. And then we also you get a couple sentiments in here. Oh, you get the one that says it's crafty time. But the thing that I thought was really cool is you get all these little scissors and paper clips and punches and doodads and stuff. So often I like these kind of little stamps because they're really nice. Either to do like a motif on the inside of a card, but just like as little pieces of ephemera, especially if you want to just sort of like hang things off the edge to make things look dimensional. So those are the two stamp sets. I think they're both really versatile, but I'm kind of a sucker for like crafty themed anything. And I have a bunch of friends who are also into that. And this is the bubble wheel stencil that I think that's the right name. We will see. We will see if Jay can remember things today. Like where I put my mouse. Oh, goodness. There we are. Yes, I am correct. So this is the bubble wheel stencil. And Elizabeth just did a video with this if you want to see this, but it's a really nice way to do kind of an abstract background. You can use it as sort of designed as a stencil, but it would also be really cool where you could get through a fun bubble effect if you did it in a bunch of different ink colors and kind of overlaid it. So there's probably a lot of stuff you can do with this. Again, not super any particular theme, so a really good versatile stencil to have. Then we get to our crafty time, which comes with a fantastic paper sleeve, which is great because once you start cutting this apart, you will want to put the paper somewhere. I am very hopeful at some point the paper sleeves will just be like a store item. Male sequins. I don't know. I don't know if I own any. I mean, I have a lot of gender. I have some like neutral color sequins. I have a lot of, I don't know, I use a lot of metallics, I think, in the, I don't know. I don't really think of cards as masculine or feminine particularly, but a lot of the bronzes and the golds. But let's just get the sticky part out of the way. This is the Crafty Time paper pad, and as you might guess, it is themed with a lot of different crafty stuff. And there's some really neat typography pages in here, which are nice. So so this one says Crafty Time. Oh, this says crafts, I think. This says crafts a bunch of different ways. But I like this one. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me turn down the brightness here a little bit just so you can see this better, because there we go. That is better. Sorry about that. So this says Crafty Time, and this is a pretty subtle typography pattern. You know, if you compare it to, I don't know, something like this birthday one, right? It's a lot more subtle. But then we have some pink bubbles on the back. Generally, with most of this paper, there's sort of a busy side and a less busy side. So we have the glue guns. These are actually interesting because actually was on Tizo So Inspired video that I'm lifting this idea from. But because these are white, you could just come in and color these to whatever color palette you wanted, assuming that it's essentially pink adjacent. But this is a pretty muted pink, so it would probably go with most anything. And then some fun like faux glitter, faux streamers, kind of a neat one. This is probably the busiest one, where it says "Love to craft. Crafty people are the best people." But this one I think would be really fun to like cut a strip out of and use that sort of as your sentiment on something. And we have a nice sort of a muted green on the back. I'm getting a lot of spring vibes from this, which I like, because this morning it was -15 out, and like spring can get here whenever it wants. I am all about the spring. Oh, hello, Gaz. I didn't see you pop in. Hopefully you are well. And Danny, welcome. Hopefully I'm not obstructing your dinner or anything. I think I'm earlier tonight, so I was trying to figure out if I actually want to like cook dinner or be lazy about it. Live, Love, Craft, another good one. Again, this is very, like, you could take a little tag die and punch this out. So there's a lot of use with this typography ones in this particular pad. I think there's a lot of ways you could use them in sentiments if you desired. Then we have some nice bubbles. Oh, I'm sorry, they're buttons, not bubbles. That would have come in candy for Craft Roulette this week. And then a nice sort of peachy color. Then we have our Cricut machines. And sort of, again, a really nice sort of vibrant springy pattern. And then I think we're back to the bubbles. So that is this particular pad. It's similar to, it's the same weight and size as other Crafty Stamco pads if you have them. So that has all remained the same. So those are the things that you will get in the kit. Oh, hello, Mary. Welcome. Hey, Stamper Girl. How are you? Since there are a lot of us here, are you guys interested in making a project? Because we could definitely put a card together. Because I don't really have anywhere to be. And we've just only been here 15 minutes. So maybe we'll do that. But I wanted to get the unboxing out of the way first if people are like super into like just wanting to see an unboxing. But I think we could do some interesting things. I've been really liking this color, and I think it would work really well with any of these pinks. So what I was thinking is we could, or this green would be really nice. Oh, that would be pretty. That would be really springy. That would be really springy. I kind of like that. Although I like the glue guns too. I don't know. I guess it depends if we want to make it like a definitively crafty card or not. Well, at least one person wants to see me make something, so let's do that. I am thinking I'm gonna grab another piece of this because I don't have a full card base, but I can make one, and then we can thinking glue guns, and if anyone has strong feelings on if they would rather see kids or mice, those are both options. Let us see. There we go. But we can just get a card base started. And if people have specific ideas, mice. We can definitely do mice. So we have our base. We'll just probably do it normally too, but I probably should see if I have paper. Oh, here's some scrap paper. We will just cut a little inside panel in case because I don't know. This might be a me thing. If you have really fancy inks, I bet you probably don't worry about like having a white piece of paper to write on. But I always kind of, I don't know. Plus, I think it looks a little. I like how it looks on the inside. I always like how the sort of. I like the vibe of having a white inside piece, I guess, with a colored cardstock. So we will do mice. We might need our enamel dots. Hopefully I won't lose things on my desk. There we go. So I like the idea of using this glue gun. I really like the guy or girl, or I guess we don't know for sure. I like the mouse with the sitting on top of the cricket. And I always also like this one. This one would be pretty good. We could do this. Well, I have a thought. We could use this as our background, but then we could also do a strip of one of the more vibrant patterns, and then mat one of these mice, and then figure out what we want to do with the sentiment. Okay, I just made a potentially symbol card complicated, but we'll see. Okay. Kind of like that. That has possibilities. Let's not cut the mat raw. Luckily, there are multiple sheets of the same pattern, so if you do what I almost did and miscut it entirely, there we go. So I think that's going to be I really like the vibe of the pink. I'm thinking we could actually just use this and give ourselves a stripe just to give it a little more interest. So I'll cut that to the same. And I probably want, let's say, how big are these? Maybe we just do a little bit. This guy is about 2 inches, so let me get some decent paper to color on. It's weird. I got 250 sheets of these when I wanted to get into coloring, and it's like I still have so much left because I always feel like I do. I feel like I do more coloring than I actually do. Plus, I often color like little images, so I'm just going to cut this 2x3 because I think that'll fit that little mouse guy pretty nicely, or girl. And I can grab one of my blue scraps, and I'll just make a little mat for the mouse. Add a 1/4 inch to everything, basically. I'm thinking what we could do is get our mouse stamped out and sort of show you how I think this will go together. Then what I'll do is probably float the mouse somewhere like here, and then we can put a sentiment down below, maybe, if we want to, depending on what we go with. We could also stamp a sentiment up here and just have this sort of, more balanced. So I think that'll work out well. But I always love when you can like use the same piece of paper and use both sides and then get extra stuff out of it. Let me see what I'm missing. Hey, Mary. Colored on black and white postcards. I have not. That's a fun idea. I've been loving, I think it's in Spellbinder's new Winnie the Pooh collection. They have a lot of like better press plates. They're like some of the original etchings. And I saw some of those and I was like, wow, those are pretty neat. I love sort of retro stuff too. Hey, Alyssa. Everybody, I think, is saying just hello. Yeah. Well, you don't have the same pets I do, but I don't know. Like, I usually hear about mice before I see them with the cats because they get super excited about the mice. I don't think the mice get super excited about realizing that there's cats somewhere, but let me. Well, I guess that's fine. I'd put down some removable tape on my stamp wheel, and I keep forgetting to peel it off because it's the same pattern. So I do like, they're very cute mice. I do like this. I do like this guy, I think, just because I feel like it would be pretty grounded. That does give us some space. So maybe I will stamp a sentiment. Not that every card needs a sentiment, but and because this fits the space so nicely, I'm not really gonna have to do anything fancy to like ground it or whatever. I do like the "You Inspire Me" one, and I like the "Talk Crafty." Talk Crafty to me. Will that fit? I feel like that would be a really good fit if that actually fits the space okay. So if we do that about here, and luckily the talk is pretty close to the edge of the stamp, so you can actually kind of line this up mostly evenly. I mean, I always kind of play into the it's handmade angle of my cards anyway, so like I am not the person to watch if you want to see the most like technically perfect cards. But I have fun with it. So I think that's going to work out really well. Good call on the mice, Elise, and others. And these are new stamps, so they'll pick up really nicely. I'm just going to rub them just to get any manufacturing oils off the stamps. Because this dye ink is always a little persnickety about, doing the thing it's supposed to do. But it does do, well, it often takes a couple stampings, although I just re-inked these pads, so they should be pretty good. And now you can really see the detail on the mouse, too. And I'm not applying much pressure. In fact, if you want an alternative to like those fancy stamp tools, of which I have a lovely one from Artful Angel, but the other thing you could use, I found these today, is air hockey palettes from Dollar Tree. Also work nicely and have foam on the bottom, so they won't scratch anything. And you see the sentiment looks good. We want to probably do the mouse again. And when I started out, I thought this was like a me problem, but it's It's not really. It's just that dye inks often take a couple passes to get sort of all of the line work. I don't mind being a little more aggressive on the mouse because I'm going to color him anyway. There we go. So let's just go here where what didn't really stamp. Yeah, because I really want to. And I'll just sort of press down on. Let's do his tail one more time. Because I really would like his tail to be intact. Again, cuter on Samson in real life. There we go. I'm just going to focus on kind of there. And that looks pretty good. Do just one more all over here, just in case there's any ink left. That should be good. And I like how this is really wound up fitting the space nicely, which was entirely accidental, but it's nice when things work out. Let me just clean this off and I will catch up on all your chatting. And Christina does a lot of coloring. So if you want to see people who are, how can I put this nicely, more professional at coloring than me, her channel is fantastic. And it is linked in the actual title. Although you guys probably, a lot of folks are probably familiar with her already. But I've had really good luck with her stamps, honestly. Like sometimes newer stamps are tricky, but hers have always worked out pretty well. So I am just going to, I'm just using a pokey tool just to kind of get around this. Because I found if you just rip this off the stamp wheel, you can wind up curling your paper, which makes the whole coloring thing a little bit more annoying than it has to be. But I would really like this scrap. This is scrap. So I kind of like a buff color for the mouse. Maybe like because we have a lot of like dormice around here. That would be okay. I think that would be a good color if I have something close. And I want a light pink. Oh, this one's kind of close. Is this? Oh, those would be pretty. I think those will work really nicely together. This one's way lighter, obviously. I do also. Let's see. Here's a nice pink, I think. Yeah, that's a good pink, I think. So I'm gonna go in and just do his ears initially, just because I want to get the sort of. I'm gonna basically color over this with brown eventually, but I do want sort of a base of pink because animals are cuter when they have pink little ears. We probably do his foot bottoms in pink as well. Then I think I'll go in with my light color. I might do his, I don't know if it's a muzzle or what, except I'm using the wrong end of the marker. But I don't know what the like muzzle of a mouse is called. Oh, thanks, Flora. I like cards with a lot. I mean, I'm not like, I don't know, how can I put like I'm not like a full on, oh, this is going to work out nicely. There's a scrapbooking kit company called Club Scrap in Wisconsin that is like a very much likes layers. I don't know if I'm going to really. Actually, this color came out much more to my liking than I was expecting. So that's cool. I really want to get Crafty Stamp Co. has these cool journals for tracking blends, and I track none of my blends, which is probably a mistake. Because then when if I come back later and I'm like, oh, that was a really cool card, it's like I don't remember what I did. I did something. That's for sure. Here we go. Oh, it looks like I picked it. Oh, that's interesting. I think I picked up a little ink on the tip of my marker. That explains why it was doing that neat brown thing. Oh well. Yeah, and you can let your memento dry more than I did if you don't like that look. But I actually kind of like to. I kind of like how his. So the original color of the marker is really more that, but because I picked up some of my ink, it muted it out, which I actually feel like is a more mousy color anyway. Just going to even off a couple areas that seemed a little not all that even. The other thing you can do is you can heat set your ink and or emboss over it, but I did none of those things. I'm just going to come in just with the tip and try and do his tail. Kind of like a cat tail. The mice tails are kind of picky. Um, so he's looking pretty together. I do like this size image because they're not like super complicated to color. Oh, oh, that's funny. No, I actually, well, it's funny because that Counter Strike game, I think I used it was that, and this is a really tangential tangent, but for one of my classes in college, we actually were using it to figure out like level design and stuff. But yeah, no, CSC Crafty Stamp Co. I should not use abbreviations. It's funny because we have a whole initiative at work about like being careful what abbreviations you use. I'm thinking so the mouse has a good bit of pink. I'm thinking blue makes sense because of the matting that we kind of want a blue cricket machine, which I don't think exists, but we can do that whole thing where we sort of ignore reality and make things the color we would want them to be. So that's not what I want, but I do want a pretty pale blue. I want sort of a, oh, this blue would be really nice. Yeah, this B12 is kind of a slaty blue, which kind of matches our card stock, but it's a little more vibrant. So I think that I will go in and do sort of these highlight areas. And then I'm going to use a lighter blue on the whole thing. And we could actually leave parts of this white if we want. But let's do blue. I like the idea of him sort of sitting on the darker blue. We'll just I'm just going in and sort of tapping the areas under his what would be his legs. I'm sure I've said this before, but I tend to color flat as opposed to like trying to do a bunch of shading. Um, but you can certainly do shading on these if that is the thing that makes you happy. This is blue with fewer zeros because this will be a slightly lighter blue. There we go. So we'll have kind of blue with blue. And kind of like watercolors, these markers dry back. So you don't really quite know what color you have until you're done. There we go. I'm going to just come back in and do sort of the lines again, just to give them a little more shading, even though we're not really shading. Now, what we could do... Oh, thanks, Gloria. So we have two options. We can kind of leave this just floating the way it is. Often, because crickets don't usually float in real life, a good way to handle that is just to use a light brown, gray. I think gray, like a warmer gray, works better for like things like cute critters. Anyway, I'm just gonna go and put a little bit of shading under this, so it just kind of feels like it's got a shadow and lives somewhere. And not super picky about it, because I think it's more the vibe than the actual coloring when it comes to stuff like this. And here's this piece. And if we want to, we can basically do a little ink edging just to add a little color to the edge. Let's see how we feel about this kind of color together. Or you can leave it, obviously you can leave it more clean too. I think I'll leave it clean just because there's a lot of sort of clean edges going on here anyway. But let's get our inside piece on the inside. My cat may be coming to visit. He does that sometimes. But at least we're done with coloring, so. And aren't using, like, wet media. Although, interestingly, he's never actually gotten into anything, like, really bad. I'm always like, especially around Christmas time, like, expect him to go and, like, step into, I don't know, like, spruce green ink or something. And then I'll have to call, like, kitty poison control to figure out if, like, that's an issue, or, but, he's a good boy. So now I'm just going to more or less put this together. So the first thing I'm going to do is put on my first mat here with the glue guns. And I just kind of eyeball these mats in terms of alignment. Mostly because I've been making cards for a while. Oh, here's Lennox. Lennox says hello. You can see a paw. We'll just move our pieces. He's sniffing. So I have my new Biddy Penny kitty mug rug that he's very interested in. So he is sniffing that. I also have tea. Because it's called, hey, please don't eat the mug rug. Thank you. Thank you. You'd appreciate it if you didn't destroy anything. But anyway, for those who are unfamiliar, Lennox says hello. Oh, that's good. Well, I mean, I don't know that getting ink all over the craft table, that would be, I mean, as long as it's a non-porous surface and there's a way to like clean it. I remember distinctly, I forget what the substance was. It wasn't ink, but my dog, when I was in high school, managed to get into something and then track it all over my house that my mother had just spent the better part of like a day and a half cleaning. And then we had to just sort of make sure that the dog didn't get killed in the ensuing displeasure that happened. Let me see if I can encourage him to not be in the camera. Thank you. There we go. He visits quite a bit. It's actually quite sweet. So I'm going to put these two together and then kind of figure out where I want this. I don't really need a sentiment. And we might use some of those pink enamel dots around here just to like accent these two corners. I think that would be kind of fun because there's whoops, there's dust tracked in by the cat, but because there's a good bit of pink in the card. There we go. There we are. I think we just kind of want them like that. You could put an extra piece of cardstock under this if you really want it lifted up, but this cardstock is pretty thin, so I don't think that's going to really be an issue. So I'm just going to keep using double-sided tape on it. There we are. I'm just going to kind of try and balance the space. So I'm going to probably keep that margin here and then try and get this relatively even. If you ever want these to be completely even, you can get one of those cool grid rulers that basically has like 1/8 of an inch squares, and then you can, you know, you can layer it up. But that's looking pretty cute. It'd be remiss if we didn't use pink enamel dots on it, I think. Crafty dots. But these are relatively flat, so the reason I tend to like some enamel dots is they don't make mailing a pain. I think we actually want the more vibrant ones. I feel like these are way too close to the paper. So I kind of like the second size. I think I'm going to put 2 at this. Oh, and that's the wrong enamel dot. Let me get rid of that. Please don't stick. Okay. Put that back. It's always tricky because the carrier sheet is very not sticky, but the dots themselves are quite adhesive-y. Anyway. And they will, like, the adhesive becomes much more permanent at some point, but they generally are movable for a while. I mean, kind of like double-sided tape. So kind of like that there, and then maybe do one of the bigger ones in the to just sort of accent this other corner. There we go. I think that's cute. A very cute card for a crafty friend. He is. No, I think we all concur that like we prefer mice like not in our house and not being pursued by your cats and all the things. Hey Bruce, great to see you. As well. Thank you. I'll throw a post. I will take a good picture of this and throw a post up if you're interested in seeing it. I will have, so I have videos coming out using the products in this kit next Tuesday and the Tuesday after that. So there'll be some other ones coming as well. But it was great to unbox this and play with you guys. And I think that's all I have for tonight. I will be live on Sunday at 6 p.m. per normal. And if you have interest in any of the Crafty Stamp Company stuff, there are links in the description as usual. Great to see you guys. Have a great one.